What's good, y'all? Welcome back to episode 5 of Back in the Dayz. It's your boy T-O-O.
Boy Arshil.
Yeah, we back with another one, all right? So let's get into these facts about Back to the Future, all right? It's a classic movie. Michael J. Fox, of course.
Marty McFly.
Yes, sir. You know what I mean? And we know about them shoes they came out with. Yeah, they was pretty fly. I ain't gonna lie. Even I was thinking about getting it, and I don't even wear no Nikes like that. All right, so let's get to it. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, yeah, I know. So, hey, it came out in 1985. Basically, Marty McFly gets sent 30 years back in the past, and he end up running into his parents, basically, as they were young, when they were young. So, and Doc Brown is trying to bring him back. He's the one that invented it, right? So, it was a couple of facts that I found out that I was like, that's crazy. And always the number one crazy thing to me is when it comes to the actors that they were gonna choose to play these roles. All right. So what happened was Michael J. Fox was on was the first choice, but he was on Family Ties. Yeah. And Family Ties wouldn't allow him, the contract he signed with them, they wouldn't allow him to do the movie. So they end up having John Cusack.
John Cusack, yeah.
He auditioned for it. Charlie Sheen,
of course.
Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio. That's crazy to me. And Johnny Depp. They all auditioned, but it was unsuccessful.
That makes sense.
You feel me?
It makes sense though.
Which ones?
Charlie Sheen and
oh yeah,
and Johnny Depp. Because at the time, like again, if it's popping off at the time,
that's right.
Johnny Depp had started probably like in the early 80s.
He did. That's true. He started then. And I can see Charlie Sheen. Now, John Cusack, I don't see that one at all. Like I guess he just went out for the role, but I don't see him.
I don't remember early John Cusack.
Yeah, I only got the later years of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Ralph Macchio, I'm gonna be real. He was Karate Kid. I know he was a younger kid, you know what I mean? But I don't think he could have pulled that one off. Because his acting in Karate Kid was cool, too. It was, you know what I mean? Yeah. It wasn't like that. So, I think Michael J. Fox was the perfect choice. But, guess what? They didn't even go with, they couldn't go with him because they wouldn't let him go. Mm-hmm. So, Eric Stoltz, I don't even know who he is. He got the role. 6 weeks later, though, he was fired. So, they had to move on.
And the cool part was that they had shot like half the movie already with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And they were like, you know what? Nah.
Yeah.
Half the movie's done.
The crazy thing though, at the table readings, a couple of them said they was like, I don't know about him. Yeah. They was already saying it. So, you know, it kind of sucks for him because it was a big movie after that. But I mean, Michael J. Fox played it perfect. That's what I wanted to get into is the characters. The characters for me, for this movie, they took it to the next level. The actors, you had Christopher Lloyd playing Doc Brown, man, legend. He was great in these movies, and he had other movies that I liked that he did back in the day. And then you had Michael J. Fox, easily, you know what I mean. If he never would have gotten sick with what he has, I feel like he would have been one of them top tier actors to this day, like. How all the ones that pretty much started around that time, he would have been up there with them because his acting wise, he's good to me. Like when I seen him act back in the day, it was good compared to what the ones that were around with him. I felt like if he would have been able to keep going, he would have been a top actor. Then you had Leah Thompson that played his mom, Crispin Glover that played his dad. Then of course Tom Wilson that played Biff, the bully of the whole movie.
I hated Biff.
That's one person I know.
And
you know how sometimes you watch it and you be like, why is dad just sitting there right there do stuff? You know what I mean? So, but it was a great movie. Then it said the script was rejected 44 times. Like studios did not want that script. They didn't see it as nothing good. They said they felt like it was going to go over people's head because it was a futuristic type of movie. The crazy thing is though, they were friends they were actual friends of Steven Spielberg, but they told him they didn't want it. You know what I mean? They could have got in to a spot, a studio, but they was like they didn't want to seem like they just got in because they're friends with Steven Spielberg. So that was pretty cool that they decided to do that. Now the name almost was changed to, well, not changed, but somebody told them they probably should have changed it to this: Spaceman from Pluto.
I wouldn't have watched it. I'm gonna be honest.
You feel like nobody's gonna watch that movie, bruh. Spaceman from Pluto, just the title, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. And so they did the right thing by not listening to that person, whoever that was. Whoever thought Spaceman from Pluto was going, that
Don't even match the story. But I guess it's because if you go in the past and like where you come from, it's just like some random person. But it still doesn't.
It still don't match it.
Yeah, it don't correlate.
That's crazy. For you reading the script and then saying that could be the title was crazy to me. So, hey, next one, bruh. We got Marty's last name was going to be McDermott. I'm so glad they changed that. Because ain't nobody going to be talking about Marty McFly's when you get in the shoes. Marty McDermott. It's subtle stuff that you change in something can be something pretty big. Marty McFly is way better than Marty McDermott. So just remember that too. When you making a movie, think about that when you making it. Because that little subtle change could have ruined the movie to me too. It wouldn't have ruined it, but you can't do what you did with the shoes and everything if you call it Marty McDermott. Yeah. So the famous clock tower scene wasn't a part, the ending, when they got back, how they got back, it wasn't a part of the original script. The original scripts, they were supposed to go to an old nuclear test spot, and then basically it was supposed to explode and they get back to where they supposed, like it take them back to where he's supposed to be. So I'm kind of glad they changed that too, because that's an epic scene right there, like for the whole movie. So that's pretty cool that they changed it and got it right. All right. They said the idea was based on, this is crazy to me. They said the idea was based on a high school yearbook. One of the creators was downstairs in his parents' basement, and he was looking through a high school book, saw his dad, and was like, I wonder if we would be friends. That's crazy to me. That's all it took was that. So then he went to his other partner, because it was two people that wrote it. He went to the other one. Then they came up with a high school kid gets sent back in time. These are three things they came up with to make this whole movie. A high school kid gets sent back in time. He meets his parents. His mother falls in love with him. That's the only three things they had, and they put a body to all those three parts.
I mean, as a creative, like when you hear stuff out and about, you just get these thoughts. So like if you look at a yearbook or like, I wonder if I'll be friends with my parents at this time. Boom. And somebody hear it.
That's all it takes.
Most of the time they get like a whole bunch of ideas. Whether it's with anything, whether it's like making movies or music, that's where all these ideas start to flow from.
No, that's true. Because a lot of people, music-wise, say they just saw a word while they was walking. They saw something fly by while they was walking. They saw something while they was driving. I was like, that's great. And then they just turned into a big song. That's crazy. So the last one I had is kind of a big thing because they said that the car, that wasn't the first thing they had. Like the first thing they had is kind of crazy to me, is a refrigerator. Yeah. They said they was going to use a time machine, was going to be built. Doc Brown was going to build it in a refrigerator. The only reason they didn't do it was because they were scared that children was going to try to do it and get locked into a refrigerator. I was like, little simple things, bruh. Because if it's a refrigerator, it's not being what it is either. Like, the fact that you had that car.
It's the DeLorean.
They even said the creator of the DeLorean sent letters to them thanking them because it would never been that big.
Yeah, like his car wouldn't,
Yeah, that car would never did nothing without them put it in the movie. So that's the facts that I had right there. Now, my favorite scene was when he was on stage at the prom and he had to do and he was singing. That's one of my favorite scenes right there. Which is crazy because they said the real ending, that wasn't the real actual ending that they made at first.
Yeah.
The real ending was he get back to his time and his dad pick up a paper and the paper shows his son up there like he was the musician that sung that song.
Interesting.
That would have been crazy. That would have been a little different right there to see that.
I mean, it probably would have made the number 2
a
little different.
That's what I was thinking. If he saw him like that, like it would have. I felt like if they kind of would have kept that one, then they probably could have involved the dad in the next one. Like because he know now he was like what?
Oh, the dad wasn't into.
No, he wasn't
into, and it was a whole thing about how he sued them because they had old scenes from 1 and used them in 2, but he wasn't in the actual movie.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Wow. So yeah, y'all. Hey, just some facts about Back to the Future that, I mean, it was a classic when we came up. And now we can still go back to this day and watch it, and it's pretty good.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, this has been episode 5 of Back in the Days, y'all. All right?
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, because I've been rapping, and this shit is getting tired, man.
Back